Hello everybody, I hope you guys are doing well, having a great day or a great night, and let's get started. So, we had the FONS meeting, and their decision was to make a pause, so no cut rates. And the expectation was bearish because of Trump tariff wars, which in the short term, it is going to make inflation worse. We do know this, it is a fact. But in the other hand, it's so at this moment, if we didn't haven't went down, it's probably because it's over. So at this moment right now that I'm recording, that's how I'm thinking right now. And forgive me. Another thing is I was paying close attention on this structure. So 40,600 was one of the targets that we talked about that should be a strong higher low, right? It couldn't be flat. So we have a strong higher low, 4,600. And the worst case scenario would be 39,500 or so. I shared both targets. Okay, so all this being said, we have the Dow Jones signature here. We have the what is the chart? It is this one right here. So this is not theory at all, right? So at this point, it is probably a great evidence on the things to come. One of the ways to look at this right now is so we are most likely going to have a cut in rates by May, right? So we have that golden rule on April and May, August and September. So one of them, it is going to be a bearish pivot, right? So it's highly unlikely to be both. But so the logic here is, if you are going to have a bullish or a great April, May, then for sure, August and September, it is going to deliver a correction. So again, what we can expect, bullish March, April, May, June, and most likely July. And probably around Q2 July, we may start to see some bearish development for a correction. So I received questions about if I think this is if it is going to be over by August, September. I don't think so. Okay, it's still 2025. And another thing that you guys know as well is all companies, all of them, they like to share great numbers in their reports, and the reports came after December. So by January, you see how here are the numbers. They are looking great, fantastic. We had a great Christmas and so on. And this is good. Okay. So usually, I made a big research about this back in the day. I tracked the dates of all crashes, all of them. And most of them happens after December. Okay, so early next year. So for example, January and February. So my idea here is that we are likely to go up to the event. So this is going to be up to. So let's go up to. I don't know if we will be in the new highs, probably, because one of the things Dow Jones doesn't make, it's a big continuation structure after one that follows his signature. So it's always for new highs and corrections along the way. Okay, so we may expect a brief pause here to see, tension, a bit of a correction maybe, and then resume continuation to the next meeting. Okay, so this is my expectations for now. Of course, with time, we can make adjustments if necessary, but I don't think this is the case. Okay, so remember, we had a zero change, and we chased the next event, the next false event, right here. So I believe right now we are going to have a deja vu. Okay, so right now Dow Jones, it's looking great, to be honest. I don't believe it makes sense to take a solo look into the possible structure pattern here, because there are multiple ways to read this. Could be ascending triangle, could be a rising wedge, so which could leave room for maybe another downside move before it's ready. So there is multiple ways to interpret this, and I don't think it's a big deal. Okay. Yeah, so it's really looking good. Now let's take a look on Bitcoin. Just give me a second, folks. Okay, so let's do this as the, right after Bitcoin. We will take a look on XRP and XLM. Let's do this as we did it back in the day, right? So let's start from the monthly. So here on the monthly, there is no issues at all. Oh, and just a thing that I forgot to mention. That downside move on Dow Jones that we saw from the top all the way to the bottom, and right now there is no more downside so far in the radar. It probably, this downside, the whole of it, was probably already accounted in a pause on the Fed. You see, so this is a scenario that I didn't even think about, and I should. But we had so many possibilities that it's really crazy, right? But instead of more downside, it seems everything were accounted already. And once again, we can see it on the Dow Jones signature. Okay, so here on the weekly, it's a reaction. It's looking good so far. On the 3 days, it's looking good. Oh, and by the way, folks, this is unbelievable scenario. Once again, we have almost the same development as the one that we had right here. Once again, such a school, right? We had a clear head and shoulders, and here we had a bearish descending triangle, which, by the way, wasn't bearish at all. But it's very interesting to see how these things keep repeating. It's fascinating. So here on the daily, we had a visible change. On the 4, it's way better. So we had this structure right here, which wasn't clear at all. We had literally nothing. It is true that Bitcoin managed to hold the higher lows, which is a good sign. And also another thing that from time to time that we see is this. Low, lower low, higher low. This way. From time to time, not always. It still doesn't give us a lot of clarity, but it is, I mean, it's looking better today than it was before, right? And yeah, so of course we need some time to say, okay, we are 100% out of the water, out of the woods. And yeah, so just by the fact Dow Jones didn't went down, this is probably a big sign already, right? So things are looking really, really good. So the most important level right now, it is back again to 95,025. Yes. Yeah. So probably are going to see a lower high here, maybe. Then a bit of weight. So I'm not sure. So folks, that there is nothing clear. There is no clear structure. It's tough to figure out targets. And yeah, so let's see how this is going to develop in the coming days. Right now, let's take a look on XRP. Let's do this just like we did in the past. So on the monthly, it's looking good. It's still holding the upper hand. Now let's go down to the weekly. So here on the weekly, we still doesn't have nothing clear, but we can't see the head and shoulders trap here that people. So we talked about this before, right? A few times, and I said, folks, there is no head and shoulders. It got invalidated, and probably what we are watching right now, it's the trap unfolding, because people who only trust patterns will still have a bad time. And we can't forget, let's go into the daily because it's more clear. So we can't forget these two events right here. The reserve status. The trial is not over yet by legal means, but the SEC dropped the appeal. So it's let's say it's in a step-by-step to end the process, because it just, let's say, can shut down out of the blue, right? So there's a few adjustments that are necessary in part of the process, but it's over, right? So we have two major news. After, once again, let's do this step by step. Step by step. Oh, baby. So, possible head and shoulders, right? Now, what is the odds we had these two fantastic news after a head and shoulders, or a possible head and shoulders? So in my opinion is still the same, that it got invalidated, right? So then what we had, only looking into structures only, we talked about this as well, we had a possible descending triangle. Why I'm using the word possible? Because it is not clear and I'm not trusting. Okay? And here, so this was the descending triangle, right? So this move from today most likely invalidated the descending triangle. Why? One of the characteristics of a descending triangle is that it keeps making lower highs. Okay, so it's a lower high. So lower high, lower high, lower high, and then right now we have a higher high against the previous one. So it's little clues, little moves that probably are telling us what is coming next. Okay, so let me see if it will be clear here on the form. Yeah, so it's not bad at all. So if we were really to go down, I mean everything, Dow Jones, Bitcoin, whatever you want to call it, stocks, we would see a continuation here to the downside and testing, not testing, it's visiting again this $2 range, which is very, very strong, by the way. So we would go down. And then probably if it were all the market's direction, then go down, because that's the nature of all those patterns. But once again, we had the traps and events, right? Events, important events, right here they are. So again, two very bullish events inside a bearish structure. Can they invalidate it? Of course it can. Of course, no doubt about it. And right now, if we clear the... Just a moment. Okay, so right now, taking a look at the end. Please forgive me, folks. I slept only a few hours this night. I'm very, very tired. Big bullish events invalidating a bearish structure. Which ones have more weight? The bullish events, because they can invalidate a structure on the same way that a bullish structure can be invalidated by a bearish event, if it is let's say a kind of a big deal event. Okay, so when we clean the chart, do we have something new or a change? Maybe. So as we talked about before, this move here, in my humble opinion, got invalidated because it turns to be a big zero. Okay, so if could we, so I'm raising questions, okay, just making a case here. Could this be a bullish turn? Because here we had a little bull flag. So can this scenario be true, that XRP can be developing a let's say kind of, it's a mix and it is not clear, a bullish triangle that is not symmetrical, or even a kind of a mix of a triangle with a so it is not clear, right? So a pennant, whatever you want to call it, it is not clear, and we have seen this over and over and over, a mix of structures, one after the other, right? But it seems to me that we have a bullish case here. And there is a lot of people who are relying on bearish models, and I don't think any bearish model or oscillator or indicator can change the outcome of incredible bullish news. Okay, so I can see it. But once again, we are not out of the woods. So what we want is at least a strong upside move, either a strong lower high, or it can be a higher high, you know, maybe even close to previous one. This is going to give us a much better idea. Okay, of course it doesn't have to happen right now. It can be later this week, maybe next week. So we really don't have anything clear. So this is very tough scenario. But one thing is true. There is no head and shoulders here. It got invalidated long ago, back in February. Okay, and this probably is the key to open the door of these questions that we have right now. Okay, so let's take a quick look on XLM, because XLM is looking good, and if we take a look on the correction size, take a look at this. It's fantastic. It's great. Really, really, really great. Okay. And yeah, it's a clear bull flag. And also, not only this, XLM developed a perfect bullish continuation structure, which is literally perfect. I'm not joking. It's perfect. And this is also one of the not reflex, it's let's say it's a clue of what is going on in the crypto market right now. Okay, so let me show you. We are going to make the exercise that we did in XRP when XRP was on the 50 cents mark. You guys remember this. So right now we are going to do the very same thing on XLM and let the thing show you what it is gonna be. So this one right here, it is not 100% clear. So let's use the dashed line because it's a young pivot, and the approach for any pivot in development on the way or young, we have to be skeptical. Okay, so this is the step-by-step process. But right now, it's a full bullish continuation structure. It's complete. Okay, so we have what? All the pivots: 16, 16, 16, 16, 16, 16, which makes close to the 100% development. And yeah, so as you guys can see, it's exactly the same as we did with XRP back in the 50 cents mark. If you don't remember, let me show you again and you will remember. And this is probably a great clue about the whole crypto market. Okay, all of it. So we are very, very close. And some people were asking, where is the bull, the out season? So folks, the out season began in November, if I'm not wrong. Okay, so what we are seeing is the early stages. So let's say this didn't happen, okay? And let's go back in the day before the big one, okay? Let's do the exercise. Step by step, ooh baby. Ba, 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 ba. And here we are. So as I said back in the day, it wasn't 100% perfect, but was there. Okay, so they're not the same, but they have the same nature. So they can develop on similar or different ways, but once again, the nature is the same, the timing is the same, and they are, like I said, XRP was about to go, and XRP did her thing, right? So the only difference right now it's that XRP, it's on the early stages, and XLM is about to just go, just like all the others. Okay, so different ways to look at the same thing. It's very interesting. Things don't behave on the exactly same way, but yeah, things are looking really, really good, really, really good. Okay, so yeah, so at this moment, what I tell you guys, it's let's wait a little bit, see how it goes, observe Dow Jones, Bitcoin, And yeah, so gold to XRP. Very soon we are going to see continuation here, because as we talked about before, what is the bull for one is the bear for the other. So this is the XRP bull, and this is it's gold ounce to XRP bear. Okay, so we do understand that both of them can have the same nature, and it's unfolding right in front of our eyes. And yeah, so probably very soon we are about to see some bullish continuation here. So the question about probably we are not going to see more downside, I believe it's answered by Dow Jones behavior and crypto in general, right? So it seems instead of having the more downside after the event, it seems we got the downside before the event. It's kind of a trap already, right? Because things doesn't become 100% clear, and when things are not clear, gives margin for error, right? So yeah, folks, this is it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope maybe this can help you to clarify some doubts and expectations for the coming days. And I was really 50-50 on this one, but yeah, things are looking good. So let's take a wise approach. Let's go step by step, slowly and steady. And yeah, so one way or the other, let's enjoy this moment. We had fantastic news, something that we were expecting for a long time. And yeah, what a great day, right, folks? Thanks again. Thanks for your time. Thanks for your patience. Thanks for your support. Don't forget to smash the like button, share with your friends, subscribe, ring the bell, and leave a comment to strengthen the channel, right? So thank you. I will see you guys soon. Stay safe and see ya.